Awesome. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode with me, Shashank Udupa. And today I'm a little excited because we're doing a stock review after a very long period of time. And today's episode, we're going to do something which I've never spoken about before because I was just doing my weekend research over the weekend and I was trying to figure out some good stocks. And I found a very good stock that's a market leader in its space, and I'm going to tell you what the stock is. And it is currently in the undersold division, so that means it's oversold. So that what happens is now the RSI has gone so low that it now has to slowly start bouncing back. So it is a good time to take an entry point. And over a long period of time, it has been growing. The stock price has been growing consistently. The net profit has been growing consistently, but the revenues have little stagnated. So we're going to look at all the things, good and the bad things, and we're going to do a quick stock review live with you guys, right? So I hope this is exciting and I hope you guys are happy for this. Okay, chalo. By the way, Manraj from the chat actually predicted it right. That was, I think he was the only person who predicted this live actually. By the way, the answer or the stock that we're going to talk about is called Kajaria Ceramics or Kajaria Tiles, and you would have seen this if you've seen TV, if you watch TV a lot. I don't watch TV a lot, but I've been seeing it from the last few days. You've seen that Akshay Kumar has come and now he's become the brand ambassador of this company and he's doing a lot of different ads for this company, right? So that made me question, okay, you know what, if they have so much money to spend, what are they trying to do? What are their goals? And who are they targeting, right, with Akshay Kumar? Or what is the strategy that they're doing? So we're going to understand the strategy as well. And we're going to look at all factors, fundamental and technical. Okay, so stay tuned. Let's go. I'm going to slide share, not share, sorry. I'm going to slideshow this for you guys so that it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, so the stock is called Kajaria Ceramics. It's the #1 tile company in India and it's also 8th largest tile manufacturer in the world. Okay, so we're going to do quickly. What is the history of this company? So this company started in 1988. Okay, it had a very small capacity at that point. Obviously they didn't have any capacity. Now they have a massive capacity, right? Over a long period of time they have put a lot of money into capex expansion, which is capital expenditure. What is capital expenditure? Basically they invest in plants and machinery and put more industry so that they can do more tile manufacturing, and with that more tile manufacturing they can obviously improve their sales. In 2012 they bought a few companies, or they actually did a subsidiary in a few companies, and more Gujarat is one of the biggest places right now for polished, very vitrified tiles. Okay, we're going to look at all of it in detail. After that, in 2016 they commissioned their third plant, and in 2019 they've commissioned their fourth plant, and now they're going to have a massive capacity again, and slowly afterwards we'll see what is the capex for the next few days as well. Cool. Now, what about the company? The company currently holds 10 to 11% market share in the entire industry. So the entire tiles industry, if you know, most of it is an unorganized sector, right? You've seen this in the cars when you're going, you'll see a lot of marble, granite, all these companies just putting it on the road, right? Most of the people in this space now are an unorganized sector, but Kajaria is in the organized sector bit, and they have around 10 to 11% market share. Now, if you look at this is very important to look at, right? Production trend for the top 10 countries in the world. China is #1 with respect to production trend, and they have been increasing their million per square meter over and over from 16 to 20, right? And now if you see how they've grown, they've actually grown a lot. But if you look at China, right, observe this important trend in China and India. Okay, so India was 955 million per square feet in 2016, and now it's 1320. So India has actually grown a lot, whereas if you look at China, from 10,000 million square feet, they've actually come down to 8,400 square feet. But China's, obviously, if you look at it, almost 7 to 8 times producing more than India right now. But if you see, India started producing more, whereas China's slowly producing less. So from a long-term perspective, this looks like a good potential for India from a production standpoint. Now, if you look at consumption trend, who is consuming this tiles, right? The majority consumption, again, if you look at India versus China, India obviously is consuming more, and China is consuming less. Look at India, right? It's consuming from 785 to 885, whereas if you look at China, it's consuming from 9,200 to 7,800. It's actually come down slowly, right? And these are important stats we need to look at. The reason why I'm saying it's important to look at is because now India has become a nation that is consuming tiles, and we are okay to put fancy tiles in our houses, in our office, and literally every other place, right? So what does Kajaria do? Basically, they do a couple of things. They do bathware, they do plywood, they do polished vitrified tiles, ceramic wall and floor tiles, and glazed vitrified tiles. So we're going to see all of this in detail, right? Now, it is the largest Indian tile manufacturer, enjoys a strong presence across the value chain. Now, that is also very important, and it gives a lot of different price points also. It gives premium category, normal category, medium category as well. So they have bathware brand, okay, which is the bathware brand which comes under the brand called Kerovit. So Kerovit is actually Kajaria's brand. So for all the people who didn't know that, this is what it is, right? Kerovit. faucets and all the other stuff which is there in the blah. Then they also have a plywood manufacturing subsidiary. Okay, so that is also called Kajaria Ply. So they have a plywood manufacturing. In 2018 they started this company, right? So this is how it looks. Now let's look at the different type of portfolio, strong portfolio. There's ceramics, there's vitrified tiles, polished vitrified tiles, glazed vitrified tiles, and two others, right, which is bathware and plywood. So let's look at a very quick overview. I'm not going to go deep into this because this entire presentation that we have created, I'm going to give it to you guys at the end of the session. Okay, completely free. Don't worry, I'm not going to take anything from you. But basically what is happening is now they have gone over and over about this. In the ceramics division in 2016, they had added 231 designs, more sizes. In 2018 they came out with designer collections. If you look at PVT, which is polished vitrified tiles, they've actually started focusing on Duratec outdoor tiles, right? Introduced Amazon series, introduced Value Plus basket, and with glazed. Okay, glazed is basically the premium quality where obviously they'll make more money and more margins. So they've got a few different things over there as well. If you look at the bathware, they've launched rain showers, thermostats, control water. Basically new products coming out in this space. Just to give you a quick understanding, new products are coming out, but Kajaria is scaling up their bathware and plywood segment. Remember this, Kajaria is scaling up the bathware and plywood. Majority of their money currently comes from the tiles and ceramics, but now they're ensuring that the plywood and bathware also start going up, right? And all these information we need to absorb so that we can understand how this works. Next, now look at the tile capacity, or how Kajaria's tile capacity are spread across 7 different locations in India, and look at how it works, right? This is how the 7 different locations are there. And if you look at their biggest is in Rajasthan, 34 million square meter of production capacity. In Rajasthan they have the biggest, and then in Secunderabad in UP, right? And if you look at their current premium tile segment, PVT and GVT consist of almost 60% of their installed capacity right now. So they're focusing currently on the polished and glazed vitrified tiles, which is also catering to a slightly higher audience set, right? Not for the lower audience set. Now coming to exports, yes, this is very important because Kajaria has now started exporting, not now started exporting, but has been exporting for a long period of time. And because of exports, what happens? Margins automatically go up, right? Margin automatically goes up. By the way, this stream is also being streamed at 4K because I just upgraded my equipment so you can see me more clearly. I don't know why you would want to do that, but still, it's just for that, right? Give me a sec, one sec. I think this has gone out of screen a little bit. Let me just get it back for you. Cool. Now look at this, right? The exports is also happening now. Basically they have to do good packaging, right? Whenever you're doing exports, you might lose a lot of material if you don't package tiles properly. So that is again very important. And now the boxes are loaded on a predetermined Euro pallet, and then it's heavily plastic wrap has plastic straps are attached to this, and then they're exported to a lot of places. Now if they're exported to a lot of places, does that help us or not? Obviously it helps because the margin is good. But don't worry, I'm going to talk about everything, guys. I'm going to talk about the good things, bad things. We're going to look at ratios. We're going to do a complete analysis, right? Now with increased capacity, increase in turnover, growing domestic market, growing export market, this is, and because it's already an Indian leader, right? This has a good idea or a good stance in the market right now to take over the entire market. Now let's look at the inelastic demand of tiles, right? Now just think about the demand for tiles. Whenever a new mall comes up, whenever a new building comes up, everywhere you see, whether a mall, whether it's an airport, whether it's anything fancy, you need tiles. You cannot have a home without tiles. You cannot have a mall without tiles. You cannot have an airport without tiles. And because I am bullish on the construction space right now, or I'm bullish on India's growth story, because the government is also pushing a lot of initiatives from that perspective, this is automatically an ancillary product. Like how we saw acrysil, how we saw piping industries, this becomes an ancillary product for it to do well because the demand for tiles are going to come up more, right? And even the housing loans are still low. The interest rate is still low, so we can still expect more things happening. Now, tiles have become an essential element in the construction industry. They have also become a style factor or a cool statement. We'll be like, oh, my Italian marble or Italian tiles, or I've got this from this place, that place. It's a cool statement as well. And the global ceramic market has also seen a good constant growth coming up, okay, in both the good segment and the premium segment as well. And if you look at Indian tile industry, right, Morbi, which is India's largest ceramic hub, Morbi, right, saw a lot of demand from the international markets. And why I'm stressing on international, because I'll come to that very soon. Now, why did this happen? This was because of the anti-China policy. Right, we saw this happening, right? When China got into a big problem after COVID, you saw the pharma companies and the chemical companies went up, right? Because India became the substitute for it. Now, you know this, the massive production of tiles and ceramics comes from China. So if something happens to China or something goes wrong in China, by the way, do you know what happened in the news yesterday? right? China is again going through a small issue, right, which might see another small issue happening, which might, I don't know whether it's a big issue yet, but it's definitely a small issue. So any type of production halt, that happens in China will automatically impact and make it much better for the Indian tile industry, because we are self-sufficient at this point, right? But there is one problem with the Indian tile industry, and I'll come to that very soon, which is a current problem. Cool. Now, compared to the years, Indian tile exports increased significantly in FY21. Tiles are a necessary component for construction industry, right? Now, I'm removing this for now. This is fine. Investment theme. How is the margin in this business? Now, in 2012, very important to note this, guys. Kajaria had taken a 51% joint venture stake in Vinar Ceramics. Okay, now it becomes a subsidiary. It is a subsidiary of Anjani Portland Cement against an outright buy. Outright buy, matlab, they just went and bought it completely, right? Now, because of that, the quality of production and adding more capacity became very fast at a fraction of the cost. Now, because it became fast at a fraction of the cost, now that has suddenly generated a lot of revenue and also given instant revenue addition in terms of quarter on quarter basis. This was in 2012, and now because of that, the production has gone up and the margin also stays well, right? And we'll come to the entire details of financials as well. Okay, now look at the capex. This is very important. Now every company that is in the manufacturing space has to improve capex. Matlab has to make more and more factories. The more and more factories they make, the more and more revenues that they can do, the more and more demand that they can fulfill, right? So the supply demand gap slowly starts cutting down. Now they're gonna now increase their entire location space to approximately 12.4 million square meter with a capex of 250 crores, which is expected to be completed by FY22 end, this year end, right? The capex is basically set to generate over 500 crores in revenue. Okay, so this is a good sign that I'm seeing. Cool. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into SWOT. I'm going to leave this for you guys to actually look at it. Actually, I'll go into SWOT, right? The strength is basically that the number one player in India. Very simple. Weakness, okay, raw material weakness is there, because whenever you're in a construction manufacturing space, you have a few determined weaknesses. What is the few determined weaknesses? Oil prices go up, gas prices go up, power prices go up, fuel prices go up. I'm going to have problems in my margins, right? Which is a temporary issue right now because of the entire Russia-Ukraine war. So my operation cost goes up, my raw material price also goes up. Same problem, right? Now the basic threat is the crude oil prices, right? The basic threat is crude oil prices, but they have to find a way to slowly go into sustainable way of manufacturing where they can offload this volatility that is there on the crude oil. And a lot of companies have the same problem. Opportunity is Kajaria is a company that is making free cash flow, which is very good for us, right? And has a high cash surplus as well, means a lot of cash in the bank, which helps this company start expanding, right? So it'll slowly start expanding. Now we also went into the con call, which is the conference call highlights. Now look at this. In tiles, 1.5% price hike happened in April 2021 and another 3% price hike happened in July 2021. Now price hike was great because obviously the revenues will be more, but price hike did not cover the increased gas cost, because gas cost went up quite rapidly, right? If you saw in the last last 1-2 months, that when the war started in Feb, the gas price has gone up a lot. So that has become an issue. In bathware, by the way, 5% hike in December followed by 10% hike in May 2021. Again, because of the prices of brass actually went up a lot as well. So all this happened because it was 320 rupees in May and now brass became 480. But this is a problem in the industry, right? What is the problem? That you are susceptible to increases in raw material cost. So anytime raw material cost goes up, this might become a small problem for you. Got it? Now, sanitary ware took a 7% price hike. So this is great. Apart from that, working capital, higher production, lower sales led to higher working capital for Q1 2022. It expects inventory to be normal till September end. So they don't have to buy more inventory, number one. Now, the expansions, this is very important. This is what they said in the con call. Expansion by Morbi players, which is the players in that Morbi area, which is the industrial hub, has been delayed by 6 months. Okay, the exports have substantially increased with Morbi cluster operating at 80 to 85% capacity utilization. Now, another problem is the freight rates have gone up because gas rates have gone up. So now shipping becomes a big issue, and all of these small things have happened. And China is also creating an issue over here. Now, if you look at the industry growth outlook, it says that the tile industry is set to grow. Again, I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective, not from aaj kharido kal becho wala situation. No, it is aaj kharido 3 saal baad becho, right? So this looks like a very good thing. Now, these are the competitive edge that they have. They have a good network. They have large product basket. Now, coming to the growth outlook. Now, because India is a very big manufacturing hub and obviously Kajaria is very, very good in this space, what Kajaria is also planning to do is now, apart from Capex, they're also trying to enter T2 India. right? So now they're planning to enter into a smaller company, right? Smaller section of the economy where they might have to reduce their margins a bit and start selling into this ecosystem as well. Now they have also expanded their entire thing. They've also approved an additional stake of purchasing a company called Cosa Ceramics. So they're buying 26% stake in that, which will also fuel an inorganic growth. Inorganic growth matlab they can buy someone and take their revenues and start growing, right? And you would have seen Akshay Kumar's coming in the ads as well. Awesome, great. Hope you guys are understanding till now, right? Very quick review I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to share all of this with you, so don't worry about it at all. Now coming back to the financials. Okay, now if you look at the financials, right? The revenue growth from quarter on quarter basis looks good, right? If you look at the own manufacturing tiles has gone up, but if you look at it from a year to year basis, it is not great. In fact, it has decreased by 1%. So the revenue growth from a quarter to quarter basis has gone up, but from a year to year basis, it has come down since for FY21, right? Now, if you look at the production growth has again gone up from quarter to quarter, but has fallen down from year to year. Again, sales growth has gone up from quarter to quarter, but fallen down from year to year, right? Because I'll come to that. This was FY20 to FY21 because of the entire lockdown and multiple lockdowns that kept happening. Now, look at this funny stat. You've seen that the year-on-year growth has gone down, year-on-year sales has gone down, right? But if you look at the quarterly and yearly difference with respect to the margins, right? Margins, mother profit before tax and profit after tax, the margins have actually improved quite significantly, and their profit after tax has gone up and their EPS has also gone up, right? So the margins have actually gone up very, very, very well. Now let me show you some other things before I give you my take. Okay, let me show you some other things. Now let me show you the stock price of Kajaria. This is how the stock looks like. Look at this, right? This is on a daily chart of Kajaria, on a daily chart on TradingView, right? Look at this. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. This is how it has been trending from the last few months. Okay, last few years in fact. So we had a good run over here, then it took some support over here and then again went up again. And now in the last few days or in the last few months since the war basically happened, it has basically fallen from a high of what? Let me show you. It has basically fallen from this high of 1368 and it has come down. It had gone down to 35%. Now it is currently trading at 28% negative. Now, if you look at another fun fact, I don't know how many of you can see my screen here. Yeah. If you look at another fun fact, look at the RSI here. It is clearly in the massive selling has happened here, already happened. Now it is recovering slowly. Massive selling has already happened. It has already gone into an oversold territory over here in the bottom. And now it is taking a pullback and coming back up, right? Now it is taking a small pullback and coming back up. And the entire market is also doing the same thing, right? If you look at the market, everything had gone down and now is doing a V-shaped recovery as well. So this is also going up slowly. Now, and there's another problem why this is not going up as fast as all the other companies. In fact, if you see companies like, I don't know how many of you have seen what is happening to ITC in the recent days. Yes, ITC, all the memes, everyone keeps talking about the memes, right? If you've seen ITC, look at this. Last few days, see how ITC has just kept coming up. So this is my line, but see how ITC has just gone up in the last 2 weeks. It's just going up every day. It's going up, and in fact today it's the only day which is still showing red, but it's not over yet, and it's breaking its line as well. So all the companies have done a V-shaped recovery, but this company has not done a V-shaped recovery yet, which is Kajaria. So that is why I'm slightly bullish that it might start doing a good recovery, and this is a good zone to enter now as well. If you look at Kajaria on trendline, if you go to research reports, you will see that there are a lot of recent research reports by ICICI, HDFC, Geojit, BNB, BOB. All of them have put a buy, accumulate and hold wala situation here. Why are they saying buy, accumulate, hold? Because this is doing well. The only reason why they're having so much pressure right now is because of the gas prices going up. And it's not only gas prices. Let me show you something else. I read one article somewhere yesterday. Look at this, okay? So apparently a lot of tile manufacturing companies, okay, a lot of tile manufacturing companies are actually importing a lot of soil and clay from Ukraine, and this is actually creating an issue. So let me show you value picker, right? Let me just go into value picker quickly. So value picker has a slightly dead thread of Kajaria. Okay, it's not a very active thread of Kajaria. It's actually a dead thread of Kajaria. Let me show you this. But it does have an interesting article that I was reading yesterday, right? And which basically said that the soil of Ukraine is used to make tiles in India. There is a chance that Russia's offensive will have a long-term impact on the imports. Each year, Gujarat receives 120 crores of gleaming soil from Ukraine. Now again, this is a small problem because why? Someone's asking how is gas related to tiles? Not gas, it's the crude oil prices. Whenever fuel prices go up, See, these guys have to start exporting it. They have to start distributing it to different regions, which cost logistics cost goes up. It's an indirect cost, right? Sometimes they even fuel their entire what do you call that, manufacturing plants. They need fuel as well, right? So that also creates an issue. Not everyone's on sustainable energy yet. Now, this is an article that came out recently. This might create a small issue for a temporary issue until Ukraine and Russia situation is solved. But this is not a permanent issue. This is a temporary issue. Looking at the temporary issue, I'm coming and stepping in and I'm saying, boss, this is something that I'm going to take advantage of quite well. So these were the different elements of understanding how Kajaria Cements works, or basically how this entire industry works. Now, coming to the final bit, I don't know how many of you all would want this, but I've just made a quick construction compounders the way I see it. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I've just done a quick construction compounders while a small case here, and I've added all the things that I feel is going to do really well. So I'm going to just put equated for now, right? Just to go over it in a summary perspective, this is Kajaria. We have Acrisil, which has also done really well, which will continue doing really well. Shobha, also some new things are happening. They've also retained their CEO. They've got a new CEO now. Asian Paints is also doing really well, will do really well. Now it's doing really bad, but everything is currently at a very low point. Tata Steel, I mean, always it's a good thing to have in your portfolio. L&T will do really well in the government construction space and in the country's economy booming while the construction space. KEI is also very good with respect to power or cables. You can also choose Polycab or you can choose KEI. It's up to you. You can switch out both. Astral comes in the piping segment, and India Cements is something that I'm holding, but you can substitute it for any cement you want depending on what type of small case you want, right? And this is a small one that I've made for 27,700. What I'll do is I'll share all these links at the end of it. You can just go through it and see how this works and do your own research before looking or investing in anything. Okay, understood? So this is very interesting what we have seen today. Now, what is my take? My take is, like, I would say Kajaria is a very good bet for a long period of time, right? Because it has been a compounder that is growing over a long period of time. They are number one. They have good capacity expansion. Whenever there's demand, they're ready to supply the demand. Currently, they're having problems because of global economic conditions. They're having problems because crude oil prices have gone up. They're having problems because Ukraine is having an issue, and some of the soil is also imported from Ukraine. Freight charges are also gone up, so their exports are going to take a hit. But if you look at their financials, their profit after tax is doing really well, time on time, right? And if I can show you that, let me just show you quickly on screen now. Right? So look at this. I'm just going to open the max chart. So from a max chart perspective, it has gone up quite well and it keeps going up. It's also coming back to its median PE. So this is actually a good time. I would like to get in at well. And if you look at the sales growth right now, see, the sales growth has stagnated, right? 2,700, 2,900, 800, 700. Last 4 years, sales growth stagnated, not going up much. But if you look at the net profit has constantly gone up, and the EPS has also gone up significantly along with it. That means the margins are going up. They're exporting really well, so the margins are also going up again. And now if you look at this year I think they've already beat, they've done 2,560. So they will beat March 2021's revenue. So it'll be much more than 2,700 crores. So again, the EPS would be significantly higher is what I'm assuming. Because if you look at the net profit right now, it's already at 122 plus 116 plus 43. So it's already around 300 crores approximately, which was their last year's thing. So this is going to be a bumper year again for them. Even though it's not the greatest of years, this is going to be a good year for them as well. So all of these small things, there are issues going on. I'm not saying this is the perfect stock, but that is the risk we are taking because it's a market cap company of 15,000 crores, right? 15,600 crores, and it's also the industry leader right now if you look at all the other companies here. So I'm betting that this would eventually reach 40 to 50,000 crores over a period of 3 to 4 years, and if that happens, then that's good returns for me as well. Again, this is a long-term play, it's not a short-term play. Okay, coming back, main camera. Okay, awesome. So guys, I want your opinion on this. Did you understand? I don't know how many of you all saw this for the first time, but now I think most of you understand how the tile industry works or how the ceramic industry works. The reason I come and do all this is mainly for knowledge for you guys, so that you can start getting adapted to the new knowledge that is coming out in this space. So I hope you guys understood that. Again, would love your recommendations on any new stocks that you want me to do research on. Put it in the comments below, not the chat comments, but in the actual comments below, and we will do more of these stock reviews, and I'll keep doing much more stock reviews. I have 6 more stock reviews lined up, but I just want to know from your take or your feedback. If this was good, please click on the like button. If it was bad, please put it in the comments below. Again, I love coming and doing this with you guys, so I love it. I've got a new setup now as well, so it's going to become easier for me to shoot more videos. Again, take care, have a great day, and please like the video and continue watching this. Please share it with your friends. Again, this is me, Shashank Udupa, signing off. I hope you guys have a great time. See you guys. Bye.